Okay. What do we have in the house here? B.I.G.? No, it's not. It's Anthony. What's up, buddy?
What's up, my bro?
I'm so glad to have you here, man. And this is the track you get on
Yep. Every time I step into the cage, this what's playing through the speakers of the stadium and gets me in the zone.
How did it start? Why this specific song?
It's a good question, actually, because I've had a few different songs before. I kind of stuck with this one. Man, I can't even remember the other ones, to be honest. And then I just changed it. You know, it's like in the beginning of my pro career, and yeah, I just love this one, man. I mean, it's simple as that.
Is it like certain memories? Is that your first girlfriend? There was a little dance with her?
No, not at all, man. It's definitely not as emotional or deep like that, man. I just love the sound, you know, the beats, the flow. I mean,
I exactly know what you're talking about. Yeah, 100%, man. Yeah, no, B.I.G. is one of my favorite ones. Okay, so that is the song When You Get On Fighting. But let's go back. So we met last year in Bali MMA. We did, and how did we? What happened? I just know that I looked at you as like, oh my god, that's a scary motherfucker. I don't want to, you know. But I think it was Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I think you put your purple belt on and rocked in, and then I tried to hug you. That's probably the closest I can tell you what I tried to do with you, but you just like kind of brushed me off. And I think you showed me one of the first moves, how to get out of the what was the name of them when legs are behind and cross. Close guard,
right?
You told me how to get out of it. You were like pushing the chest and kind of, and one leg under the bum and just push away.
Right.
That was one of the things. And then also because you were holding pads.
Yes.
So yeah, and you were not fucking around, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Because I remember seeing you for the first time. I'm like, who the fuck is this Joker?
Because all I had was just like flips and like some
exactly.
Fun,
right. Seeing this new guy doing flips and what they call splits, and I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing? You know, like total Joker. And you know, and then sure enough, we did a pass session together. And I'm like, okay, let's see what this guy's about.
Yeah,
so,
well, but definitely, I'm like, because for the stunts, it's all about the show. It's all about the flashy stuff. You know, there's no power behind my punches and kicks. I'm like, it's you know, very basic stuff. Because also my background is karate. You know, and like never really done proper like kickboxing or Muay Thai, especially Muay Thai. So as soon as even yesterday you were holding pads for me, like yeah, do the elbow. What is going on here? Like elbow? No idea. But yeah, so, and I'm back in Bali now after being 3-4 months in the UK.
Yeah, I'm
back and back in the gym training, and because of my knee issues, unfortunately, I can't continue BJJ for a while. So hopefully that's going to get sorted out. As far as I know, you are from you speak Dutch.
I do.
Right, and this is the confusion because there's two specific countries who speak Dutch, which is one is Netherlands and another one is Belgium.
Well, half of Belgium.
Half of Belgium, yeah. How dare I not know that? And this is where it becomes like, just like with Netherlands. Is it Netherlands? Is it Holland? And then they speak Dutch? Like, what the fuck?
All of the above.
All of the above. But you are from Netherlands.
I am.
Yeah, you're from Netherlands. So, few. Just about survived. So how, you started martial arts. What age was it?
Man, I started like my first martial arts was like really long time ago. I was like just like a little kid doing taekwondo, a bit of judo, and then when I was about maybe like around 12-ish, I started doing some kickboxing, some Dutch kickboxing. Had to stop that just a few years later after I had a diving accident.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Diving accident. What kind of diving? There's high diving. There's scuba diving.
Scuba diving.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not too big with heights, to be honest.
All right.
Scuba diving, and it was a few years after I actually got my my diploma.
It's like PADI, whatever that shit is.
One,
different organizations. There was one PADI. I don't even know what's the other one, to be honest.
Well, it was PADI.
Okay.
Yeah. And I went for a dive in Malaysia. Probably had too much weight on my belt and let the air go out too fast. Sunk pretty fast, like way too fast for me to control it.
Oh fuck!
I totally pinned and, well, I didn't know at the time, but apparently both my eardrums popped.
Oh shit!
Almost passed out. Was just able to, keep it together. And I'm like, okay, what the fuck is happening? And stay calm. And, I finished my dive anyways, like an hour diving. Came back up an hour later and just feeling like shit. Like my whole sinuses were just messed up and very unpleasant dive. My dad had a look. He's ENT surgeon.
How old you were at the time?
I was 14, 15,
Gotcha.
16, around that age.
Mm-hmm.
He had a look. He said, yep, both eardrums are popped. So no more diving, no more martial arts, no more fucking around. And so I had to put my focus on other things. So no more martial arts. And I didn't do martial arts for around almost like 10 years, actually.
What?
So only 10 years later did I get back into it. I was, watching UFC on TV, and where most people, when they watch UFC, they're like, they're into it for the striking, for the blood, for the knockouts, like the action part,
Yeah.
When I was watching it, I'm seeing these guys, in every aspect, but what really interested me was the ground part.
All right, so grappling.
Exactly, because I didn't know about this yet. Like, I've never seen this before. I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? Like, what's going on? I didn't understand it, and it looked interesting, and I wanted to learn more, right? So not soon after that, I found a local gym.
Going back a little bit about popping your eardrums. What exactly happens? How dangerous it is? Do they just grow back? What do you need to do?
Right. So if nothing happens afterwards, they will grow back again. But every time it grows back, the eardrum gets thinner and thinner and thinner.
Right, so which means it's easier to pop it up.
Exactly.
When you pop it, what happens? Do you lose your hearing? Does it decrease? What happens?
Right. So that happens. Your hearing definitely decreases. There's a risk of imbalance problems, right?
Yeah, what is the name of that? There's a condition. There's a condition called...
Is it vertigo?
Vertigo, yes.
Yeah,
I had
right?
a friend of mine just had recently a vertigo infection.
Right.
And it's fucked up.
Right,
Because
right.
you never had a vertigo. But it's you basically just like, you dizzy all the time. You have no sense of balance. You're all over the place. It's fucking horrible.
Right. Yeah, so, they grew back again. And within that 10 years of me not doing martial arts, they still popped open a few times, when your brother or a few friends are like fucking around and they like come up from behind, give you like a slap, like, hey, what's up,
What?
Pop, and it didn't take it's not like a full on punch or anything, but just like a,
slap.
How guys do, But in my case, that was not a smart thing to do, because I got really sensitive ears. So I have had to punch a few guys in the face because I'm like, yo, don't mess with my ears.
Yeah.
I was pretty sensitive about that.
Well, first of all, what kind of fucking friends do you have, man?
I mean,
I have no friends who's smacking me in the ear.
Yeah,
It's
I mean, I wouldn't say I grew up in a tough neighborhood or anything, but still, you got some rowdy friends.
Oh shit.
Yeah. After 10 years, I decided to get back into martial arts anyways, and against better advice from my dad. But I was just sick and tired of not doing anything like really active with myself, just doing like fitness and shit. And I was doing baseball a lot back then. So yeah, man, around like 23-ish,
24, yeah.
24-ish, I got back into mixed martial arts again.
Which is quite late. Which is very late.
Yeah, it is quite late, man. And but yeah, that being said, I still managed to do pretty okay for myself.
Okay, so how long it took you then to train before you start getting into competing? And what was the first competitions? What kind of competitions did you do?
Right. So when I started training, my training was focused mostly on grappling and MMA. You know, where I didn't really train kickboxing by itself back then. It's mostly like, you know, MMA is like, you know, it's just like grappling and a little bit of striking, you know, kind of like basic stuff back then, you know. So my first competitions were BJJ or grappling competitions. And that went quite well, you know, back in those days.
And I presume that no gi.
No gi. Let me think. Yeah, back in Holland, I think I've only done no-gi competitions.
Yeah, because it's like gi, you know, for listeners who don't know what's the difference, so no-gi and gi. So with the gi, and I also like, do you know where does it come, the name gi? It's like, in karate, we always call it kimono.
Right.
And like, and the same thing in judo. And then Brazilian jiu-jitsu, yeah, we call it gi now. So what is, it's G-I, is it short for something? What is this?
Man, you know what? I actually did read about it like a while back.
Yeah, so there is explanation.
There is definitely an explanation. I'm not going to say anything now just, you know, because I don't want to get it wrong. So I'm going to get back to you on that one, okay?
We have a little addition. Anyone who, probably needs to check it out. So gi is with a kimono, like this proper outfit, trousers and top, which is very like a strong kind of material, so you can grab with by lapels and choke each other. But as soon as that's gone, that's called no-gi. So then I think no-gi, in my opinion, is very more you can use it on the street, basically. Like, it's more possible to use it on an everyday situation to protect yourself as well. What if the guy who, well, if you're lucky, then they're gonna have a jacket or whatever so that you can grab by lapel. But if not, then no-gi experience is much better.
I mean, yes and no. You know, it doesn't per se mean that, you know, when you're, let's say you're only doing gi jiu-jitsu, doesn't mean, you know, you can't defend yourself on the street, you know, because it, you know, obviously doing jiu-jitsu with the gi is not purely based on grabbing each other. You know, it's still all the movements and like thinking about, you know, the next move and move after and countering the move from your opponent. And you, of course, you can grab each other, but it's not like purely focused on actually grabbing. You know,
I think I was probably I had the wrong choice of words. It's more applicable. It is more. You have a little bit more advantage if you are just doing no-gi.
It's you know, I always you know, I got asked a question quite often, you know, like which one is better?
All right.
You know, and they're both good. They both have its pros and its cons. The thing is, with doing jiu-jitsu in the gi, your game gets a lot tighter. You know, because you're both grabbing onto each other. You don't have a lot of room to move left and right and whatever. So anything you want to do takes a lot of effort. You got to be really fast to, you know, sneak that hand in or go for a counter. And your game is going to be a lot tighter because of it. It's going to be maybe slower perhaps, but a lot tighter. When doing no-gi, you know, it's really fast paced. You know, there's a lot of slippery sweat involved and stuff. You know,
if you sweat it up and everything,
you know, and you don't have the opportunity to grab each other that much. You know, maybe like a hand in the neck or like grabbing the tricep. That's pretty much it. So it's a lot faster, more fast-paced.
My no-gi training was so different in UK comparingly with Bali, because in the UK it was freezing and we don't sweat up so quick. And it's such a different game. Here's like two fucking eels just like slapping in and out, and which is more fun, but I think it's more chance of getting injury as well if you're like very sweaty and like slip and fall and whatever. Not sure. Depends.
I mean, still kind of depends who you got against you, you know. I mean, if you got someone against you who has no idea what they're doing, just flopping around and just going any direction, you
ballistic,
know, especially when they're bigger than you, then that might be a recipe for disaster. But if you got like two reasonable guys who know what they're doing, you know, sweat or no sweat, you know, they're still like, you know, kind of controlling themselves.
Gotcha. So also like, I always ask questions about your family. So your upbringing, sisters, brothers?
Right. I got one little brother. Little, he's 1.5 years younger than I am. Mom and dad, and that's about it.
Right. And so when you were doing sports, as you said, your dad would be like, okay, you have to stay away just because of your eardrums. But other than that, were they supportive of you doing sports, getting into?
Yes. From a very young age, they were always very supportive in me and my brother doing sports. Actually, normally they would encourage us to do 2 different sports at the same time.
That's sick.
So that's why I mentioned I did tennis and baseball for a long time. And at one point when I started jiu-jitsu and MMA and kickboxing, everything, they've always been very supportive in that as well.
What was their like reasoning that my child should do 2 sports? Is it something about just being capable on adapting different kind of environments, or they just wanted to keep you out of the house?
maybe that as well. Well,
go play tennis.
That being said, at a young age, for me being able to do all these sports, it meant that my mom and dad had to drive me around everywhere. So they were my taxi service.
You're lucky fuck. Like, I grew up in a little town. I always walked to my training. My dad found out that I'm doing ballroom dancing after I got nationals.
Oh shit!
Son, you dance? It's like, yes, Dad, for the last 4 years. Oh, wow. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, but obviously you lived in a different environment, and you would not allow kids to just wander around themselves and shit.
No, that's it's not like that. I mean, if I could actually walk to my destination, if it was like within walking distance, my parents would have totally let me go, no problem.
Yeah.
But I reckon everything was like a good 15-minute car drive.
Okay.
So that's a little bit too long to walk, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, did they? You know what? That's a good question. Actually, I should ask my parents about that. But they supported us playing sports. It's very normal back in Holland to, I reckon, in most Western countries, European countries, for the kids to do sports, or the whole family to do sports. And I started with tennis because my mom and dad did tennis as well, and you kind of grow up watching it, and everything. And the martial arts part came. I'm not really sure if they started to maybe you should do martial arts, or it's something I wanted to do myself after seeing like some Bruce Lee movies. I'm not sure. Could be either or.
Like different types of inspirations. I got punched in the face and my tooth got knocked out, and I decided I'm gonna go do karate.
Right.
That was my story.
Right.
I literally didn't know how to defend myself, how to throw a punch, and this one crazy kid in the school, it was my fault. I was bad mouthing him and all that shit, and he just came and punched me in the face, knocked the tooth out, and I was like, "That's it, karate time." And I remember like 2-3 years later when I was like competing already, I was like, when this fucking come here. But then afterwards, I'm still like, right now I really can appreciate it, because first of all, he did shut me up. There was no point for me to be an asshole, and it was my own fault, and it's great that he pushed me towards the martial arts.
Yeah, sometimes we need those kind of moments in our life, right?
100%. Maybe I should say thanks for a stuntman career now, just because of that.
Cheers to that, bro.
There you go, healthy Coca-Cola.
Hell yeah.
In Bali. A Rasa Original. What the fuck is a Rasa?
It's original taste. It's the Coke Zero, right?
Do you speak Bahasa?
I do.
Yeah, so in Indonesia they speak Bahasa, but here in Bali they speak Balinese Bahasa. Yeah. Or Bali Bahasa.
Balinese.
Balinese Bahasa, yeah. Do you speak both, or?
No.
So you speak the main one?
Yes.
The mainland one.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to your fighting career. And so you got back to, mainly was grappling, and then you were 24 when you got back into martial arts. And then how long was before you started competing, and what kind of competitions did you do?
Right, so like I mentioned, right, the first competitions were just grappling competitions on the local circuit back in Holland. Had a few wins, came close to a few wins. It was going all right. And then I started doing more striking as well. And I remember at one point I told my coach back then I wanted to, or at least I was thinking of doing an MMA competition. And you know, when you say something to your coach like that in Holland, compared to when you say something like that here in Indonesia, it's like a big difference. You know, like I know so many people who, you know, in Indonesia wanting to do a competition, and I've only been training for like a month or 2 months or 3 months, you know, and I'm like, my God, you know, like when I told my coach, I was already training for like a year, almost going on 2 years. And even then, the conditions for me to, you know, represent them in a competition was that I had to train every day with the pro team, and I had to come in and train with the actual fight team, the previous Golden Glory team. I don't know if you've ever heard about
Golden Glory.
It's
I know something else starts with glory, but I'm not going to say that out loud.
I mean, it was one of the biggest both kickboxing and MMA teams in from Holland. Big guys like Alistair Overeem, Valentine Overeem, his brother, Marloes Koenen, a few other badasses. And so my coach said, you know, go and train with them a few times, see how it goes. And my God, those are big guys. I mean, if you want to look up how big Alistair Overeem and Valentine Overeem are, I mean, I'm definitely not that big, you know. I mean, I'm like 170 and something.
Oh no, we discussed that. We're at 172. Come on, man.
172.
Yeah, and then we put like the like a
Shoes
high
on.
heels.
Yeah.
How do you say Alistair?
Alistair. So no.
Of course, I already misspelled it. Okay, so what's the last name? He's gonna find it.
Overeem. Over. Yeah, that's
All right, here you go. I told you it's gonna find it.
Yeah.
Oh my, what?
So he's about like 2 meters, I guess.
But this guy, he's like super. I mean, this is the thing. I don't watch much MMA and whatever, but I've seen this guy many, many times.
Right.
So he's originally from Holland.
Yeah, he's from my gym back in the day, actually.
Wow. Did he have let's say like a nickname or stage name, or he just went for Alistair?
The Demolition Man.
Demolition Man. Fuck this fucking Jesus. He's like 6 feet something. What's that?
Yeah.
180 something? Or more?
He's definitely close to 2 meters, bro.
Oh like, my God, 180.
Like at least 190 something, right?
How does the training look like with these kind of people? What the hell do you do?
Well, I mean, obviously, like the really big guys would get paired together. You know.
Yeah.
I do remember having to
bring towel and a drink.
Yeah, exactly. Do a foot massage, right?
And that's how he got that big biceps. Yeah, I was massaging Alistair's feet. Yeah.
You know, doing some kicks on the kicking shield, right?
Yeah.
And I had to hold the kicking shield for these big guys.
Jesus Christ.
That was you know, and that was like really at the beginning. I was like looking a little bit different than I'm looking right now, and yeah, that definitely pushed me. And I remember having to do some sparring, and my coach, he told me, "Hey Anthony, why don't you go spar with him?" And he pointed out the smallest guy of the room, the other smallest guy of the room. And I was the smallest guy, and he pointed out the other smallest guy. I'm like, oh, okay, well, you know, about the same size, and that might be okay.
Yeah.
So we put on the gloves, we did some sparring, and like, boom, bell goes, and straight out of the bat, this guy was like, bam, bam, high kick, low kick, bam, bam, like really throwing everything but the kitchen sink, you know. I'm like, holy shit, what's going on, right? I'm just like holding on for dear life, right? So it turns out that small guy was at the same time the most aggressive guy of the whole fucking bunch, right?
And is he known fighter or?
Oh man, what is his name again?
Apparently not known fighter. I think I just answered my question.
Man, he's not that well known.
Yeah, but at the time there in the gym, he was quite advanced. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
I like to have this funny story. Like, I don't know if you know or you heard of this Latvian boxer Briedis. He used to be European champion in kickboxing,
okay,
and then he realized that there's not really much money going on in kickboxing, and this guy became a big boxer, and so I would go to the gym and for kickboxing, and the coach said, "Oh, how about you go spar this guy?" He's like, "Fucking, 2 heads taller, like just walking muscles. But the coach said, but he's not allowed to punch you back. And and I'm like, okay. I couldn't do anything.
Oh, really?
I couldn't do anything. I was just like, but that was my 3rd time ever doing like kickboxing. I'd just done some karate and TKD before, you know. But it was just hilarious. And I see now him like he's like he was fighting this guy, a very well known boxer who just got the world title. Jesus Christ, what's his name? Yeah, so whatever this guy is. Anyways, but yeah, it's funny just to see him talking about boxing, representing Latvia and representing, like, he's doing very well. I went once on the ring with him, just scratched his back, I guess, a little bit. Okay, back to your gym.
Yeah, so, geez, where was I? So yeah, fighting with those big guys, training with the big guys. You know, I didn't put a dent in any of them, of course, but I mean, I hold my own there. I held my own. And after like a few trainings, my coach was like, okay, you know, you kind of prove yourself. You know, let's sign you up for a local competition.
Yeah.
And it was a you know, very small competition, judo rules. You know, with the what do you call it? The sparring MMA gloves. I think we were even wearing a helmet and stuff. And only like 1 round of fighting, and with a little bit of grappling and stuff. And I lost that fight on points. That was my first fight, and I think not long after that, I moved to Indonesia.
Oh, okay.
And that's where I continued training and fighting and grappling and whatever.
So Indonesia is basically a place where you actually got into like pro fighting.
Oh, it's definitely where my pro career started.
Right, yeah, right. 100%. And that was how long ago?
So I turned pro in 2005 or 6.
2005 or 6.
Like
okay.
Either end of 2005 or beginning 2006,
like 15,
something like
15,
that.
16 years ago. Is it?
Sorry. 2015 or 16.
15, yeah. I was like, what?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is 6 years.
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
And then are you considered to be still doing, is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Fighting?
Yeah.
You're full on? Fuck yeah.
I mean, you know, obviously with the whole, you know, pandemic going on.
All this bullshit.
Yeah. It's been hard, you know, it's been tough.
Wait. That's the sound I was looking for.
That's the one, definitely. Yeah, it's been kind of sucky for you know, for all of us, and especially for us fighters. And it's been a while since my last fight, but you know, one of the main reasons I actually moved to Bali, because I was living in Jakarta before this, right? You know, just before the pandemic, I was really active. I had like 5 fights in 7 months, and spending a lot of time in Bali doing my fight preparation here every time, and still paying like double rent here and in Jakarta, you know. So after I got married, I told my wife, you know, let's just, you know, make a decision. Let's move to Bali, and you know, take it from there.
How come it was Indonesia? Because very often people usually choose Thailand. Thailand is like kind of a mecca for, you know, fighters, especially like when we're talking about Phuket, where is the Tiger Gym. I never went there, but when I was there, everyone was talking about it. You should go there. And I checked out how expensive it is to train there. I'm like, no, I'm cool. I'm just going to train with some local little gym.
Right. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
A lot of those gyms are, you know, not to be bad-mouthing them or anything, you know, but they are, let's put it like this, a little bit too much focused on making money.
Right. They're quite commercial.
Yeah.
But one of the probably reasons is because Thailand started their tourism way before Indonesia.
100%. I mean, they are definitely the leaders when it comes to this destination gym kind of thing, right? They're definitely the first ones to do it. And I mean, I know a lot of people who have done it, you know, and who are still there at the moment. For me, Thailand was just never an option. I started coming to Indonesia as part of my when I was still in university. doing my my student exchange, doing my internship, and in the meantime, still doing training.
What did you study in uni?
Asian trade management.
Asian trade management.
Yeah.
Did you graduate it? Did you got a degree?
Yeah.
Wow.
But
how do you choose? I will study Asian trade management. How do you
trade?
Trade, yeah. Like not trading Asians.
Just
oh wow. Okay. And because you would go to like a business school, and in a business school you would have a choice like which direction you would go, right? So like because I have my MBA degree in business, you start for 2 years. We had like general knowledge, general stuff. So we study like basics like finances, statistics, math, like higher math and stuff. And then on the 3rd year we have a choice. I chose quality management. For 2 years I did ISO 9000. So I should be sitting somewhere in office and making companies official, not official, efficient. So to make sure that they have all the quality, all that stuff. But how did you chose that?
So I guess it's a little bit different in Holland, actually, you know, because you pick a study at the beginning of your study.
Like the major, what they call it, no?
Yeah, I guess.
Americans usually say major.
Yeah, we didn't even have like major and minors, you know. We pick a study, and that's like boom, that's the whole 4 years,
right?
You know, and it's kind of similar, like, you know, you have the general subjects and everything, and then you have like the specific subjects as well, like Asian history, or the languages, or you know, the differences between doing business with these particular countries, and that kind of bullshit. You know?
Listen, we need to take a break. We're gonna have a next segment. By the way, before we finish, Chris, this guy who I was training with, and I was trying to beat him. So he was fighting Usyk. Usyk was the one who won Anthony Joshua.
Ah, yes.
So and Chris Briedis, he was fighting him.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, okay, we're going for a break.
All right.
We are back. What is going on? You yawning? Come on, drink some of this fantastic drink. We're actually, it feels like we're sponsored by it. We just got it in a local shop across the street.
Yeah, no, man. I've had a busy morning, you know, training, teaching, doing 12 rounds of sparring. Sitting down now is, you know, kind of relaxing a little bit, you know. Oh,
I can imagine, man. It's like you do so many things. Like, I mean, I go to the gym. I see you all the time there. So you in Bali MMA pretty much every day.
Yeah.
So you're helping the coaching and stuff. And do you have a lot of privates, like private people?
Fair amount. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because Bali is a place where people want to try to get in shape, and it's all about that image and stuff. So it's kind of a great, you know, that people come and train, and it's a good. I mean, that's why I got back to Bali MMA. It's just the vibe is so good. People there to do their thing and enjoy themselves. And coaches obviously are awesome. I have to say good things about Donnie now because I did the podcast with Anthony, the BJJ coach.
Okay.
What was his last name? Jeez, I forgot. Leone. Exactly, the lion. And when I did that, I remember I said something about Don's teeth. Like he's missing one, and if you would be in Canada, like girls would just throw their panties off. Because in Canada, hockey's huge, ice hockey.
Okay, sure.
So, and ice hockey's guys always got their teeth knocked out.
Interesting.
You know? Yeah.
Interesting.
And then as soon as they see someone with missing two, they're like, "Oh my God, he's so hot!" But what they think is rich or famous, obviously.
Right.
So that's Donnie.
Okay.
Donnie will love the way you are. Don't change anything about you. Shit, I don't think I was made it better. Yeah, so we were talking about you getting to fighting. So now we're going to check out this one fight with a Mr. Pucci, Bruno Pucci. Like when I was Googling it, it came out Bruno Mars, but okay, that's not a Bruno Mars. So this was your first fight, or this is one of the fights you just want to talk about?
It's my first professional fight.
First professional fight. For those who don't understand...
Well, let's say for professional, how to say this? No, it's... the first fight when I became doing it for my living.
Right.
You know, I've had professional fights before this, but this is when I signed with One Championship. Mm-hmm. You know, the largest organization in Asia.
Right.
So yeah, that was the first one.
Right, one championship, so that's the biggest one. So in States we have UFC, then we have Bellator. Yeah, just about to say, those are the only two ones I know.
You're right.
What about the old one, K1? That was an organization. Was that organization?
That
or
was
was that
definitely an organization.
Oh, okay. I just thought it was a type of fighting the way they did, because they were not allowed to grapple, or they just kicks. And
Right. Well, it's a kickboxing organization to start off with.
okay.
Right? And it's kickboxing. It is, people refer to it as K1 rules. Even to this day, you would have gyms that would have certain days that they train kickboxing under K1 rules.
Right.
Or
right.
they have competitions under K1 rules.
Right.
And that's just because K1, the organization, was so big back in the days.
It was huge, yeah.
With their own set of rules that everyone after that would follow those rules. And exactly like you said, it's no elbows, no clinching, which makes for very entertaining fights.
The big guy we mentioned before, who was in your gym, wasn't he K1 master?
Yes.
Like K1 crazy
Champ.
dude. Yeah, because I remember before UFCs, before MMAs, all the way. Also, MMA is not an organization. MMA is just a type of fight. Yeah. So okay, it is quite confusing for someone who is not into it and like, oh, you're gonna go watch MMA, and someone says, oh no, we're gonna watch UFC. So what the hell is that? Like, no, MMA is a type of.
When you phrase it like that, both are right.
Really?
Yeah. Because you can watch UFC and you can watch MMA.
Okay.
The funny thing happens is when they ask you, or when they say, I do UFC.
Oh, okay.
Or I train UFC.
Yeah.
Do you train UFC?
Yeah. That's when it's fucked.
Then that's when it gets muddled up.
Yeah. I do Bellator.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. So then you got to explain like, no, it's not like that. The organization is UFC or Bellator or whatever it is, and the sport that they practice is MMA.
Yeah, just for people, they hear so much. I mean, like UFC has been so huge for the last whatever years, and I do enjoy like some really hyped up fights. I would watch them, but I'm not going to be sitting there till 3 o'clock in the morning. Like in the UK, I remember that if they fight in the States, then it's like the middle of the night in the UK, and some of my mates would come all like haven't slept all night. It's like, what did you do? Oh, I watched the fight. Yeah, I watched it this morning as well. It was on YouTube. Like, come on.
Right.
I'm not, but if you hear so much about UFC, and you don't hear much Bellator though, but UFC's been all over the place.
Right. I mean, that's also because the frequency of events is just way bigger in the UFC than in Bellator.
Yeah.
And even one championship is, in terms of number of events, way bigger than the Bellator as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, well, obviously in Asia, but it's so different as well. Like, what are the prizes, like the monies and stuff, comparing to like UFC? It's a different story.
It's you know what? It's not that far apart actually.
Really?
There's going to be a big difference, obviously, when you're Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Those guys, it's
just a different story.
That's a different story.
They get paid completely for different things,
right? Exactly. But when you look at the, let's say, low up until medium tier fighters, there's not that much difference.
Oh, okay.
And then there's the added, the added bonus for fighters in one championship is the frequency of fights that you can get.
Right.
Where in the UFC, if you're like low or mid tier fighter, you got to be happy with, one fight a year, 2 at the most.
Really?
And, like I mentioned, I had 5 fights before COVID,
Yeah, that's crazy.
5 fights in 7 months.
5 fights in 7 months. That's nuts.
We'll might get into that a little bit later.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, let's talk about this fight. So first of all, age difference. Oh my God, you were 5 years older. So that means you're stronger, right? And 65 kg. And this is the other thing. What is madness about this type of sport? The dropping the weight, or what they call it, weight cuts, and which is Joe Rogan talks about it a lot, and a lot of people say like this is madness. How people just get the weight cuts, and were there like actual fatalities, like someone would die?
So yeah. So this is my first fighting one championship. And you know, as it went during that event, where there was a kid from China, and he came in overweight during the weigh-in.
Yeah.
Now everyone is sitting there. Everyone's already chilled. Like everyone's on weight. They're like relaxing, waiting to go on the scale. And this kid comes in, totally red, wearing a sweatsuit, what do you call like a sauna suit, towel and everything. And he hops on the scale, and he was still like a good kilo overweight, which is a lot, considering the fact that you've already put in a lot of work to get it down to whatever it was.
Yeah.
So what happens? You get like an hour or 2 hours to shed that last how many whatever it is you need to lose.
You mean shed, not shit.
whatever way you want to do it, you know.
Whatever works.
You know, and then, you know, his coach sent him outside to do laps, and that might have been the biggest mistake.
Jeez.
You know, because this kid was like almost falling over to begin with, you know, and then sent him outside to do like actual physical exercise in the hot Manila sun. And we were in Philippines, in Manila. So you know, anyways, that happened, and we were at the venue, and in the dressing room, in the locker room, when we were doing our warm ups, you know, and that's when we get into the zone, when we're actually doing our warm ups.
Yeah.
One of the staff came in like, "Hey guys, you know, just to let you know, that kid from China, he collapsed during his doing laps outside. He had to be brought to the hospital, and he passed before they reached the hospital."
Fuck's sake.
Yeah, that was on my first fight at, you know, my biggest fight ever. You know, so
That was before this fight.
like during this fight, like.
Jesus,
you know, I was
Christ.
doing my warm up for this fight, you know, so I was like, Jesus, that's
What have you signed yourself up for?
Right? I mean, a lot of things going through my mind. You know? That's definitely not a nice thought in your mind to have there before you walk onto the biggest stage in your life. You know, you know. That being said, you know, when we're talking about weight cuts, you know how tragically that was. One championship changed that whole weight cutting methods.
Okay.
After that, you know, ever since then we have to do 3 weigh-ins. We got to do hydration tests. So basically, we got to weigh in very close to our regular walk-around weight.
Right.
Which takes away a lot of stress, a lot of unnecessary stress, and you know, not only mental but a lot of physical stress, or actually the other way around, like a lot of stress in general.
Yeah.
So you can focus more on the main task, which is fighting. You know, which is beating the other guy up, instead of, you know, because weight cuts, man, that's such bullshit, man. Like it's a competition who can lose the most weight.
Yeah.
And then put it on fast enough again. You know, it's total bullshit. You know. So yeah, one championship definitely got it right on that one by changing it. UFC has made changes as well, where not exactly the same changes, but they made, if not mistaken, you can only lose a certain percentage of your total body weight for the weigh-ins. So they're a little bit stricter on that one. I would like to see them apply the same methods as well.
And Bellator, what about them?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Okay.
I'm not sure. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, like here also, like I can see these numbers are just right there. You had 10 centimeters height difference, and you were the same weight.
Yeah.
That guy was skinny as fuck, wasn't he?
So you would think so, but you know, he actually wasn't that skinny. Actually, I expected him.
We're gonna see in the video.
We'll see in a little bit. You know, I guess also for some reason for my size, I'm kind of heavy.
Yeah, we dense. I think also I'm quite dense.
Yeah.
Like I was just doing free diving. I don't need weights. I'm fucking sinking like motherfucker.
Okay. Yeah,
and the guy was like, I don't see very often that kind of anti-buoyancy. I'm literally negative buoyant.
Okay.
So I'm like, I can take full lungs with breath. like full, then maybe I'm gonna linger a little bit, but then still eventually gonna sink.
Right.
So there you go. Okay, without no further ado, let's check this out. Where's our sound? Oh, the sound is here.
Aaron, wasn't it? That's Meltan telling us that we are right at the beginning of this contest. 3 5-minute rounds ahead of us. Should it go the distance, the judges will score this fight in its entirety and not round by round. That's
So Bruno was the 2 times world champion jiu-jitsu.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
I came with a sloppy low kick, and straight away he went for the takedown. He wanted nothing
to do with the striking. He just wanted to go straight away for grapple.
Boom, made a really nice takedown. And yeah, I mean, not a lot happened like during this fight, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like I said, you know, he's a double black belt champion. I think I was still only like a blue belt here.
Right. So you did not really know what's going on there, especially grappling.
No, I mean, I definitely knew what was going on, but you know, there is definitely some skill discrepancies here. You know, skill differences.
Yeah.
You know, he was, you know, on top of me. He wasn't able to do a lot of damage or anything, but you know, good pressure and everything. In a little bit, I think he'll maneuver and get my back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that whole that feeling of like the first proper like pro fight, I can just imagine the whole thing's just going through your mind.
Yeah. I mean, up until this point, I had a perfect record. You know, so I went into this with I'm not really sure, maybe like 4-0, 5-0, something like that. I never lost before, you know, and all of a sudden this guy is on my back.
Yeah.
You know, that's a sucky feeling, you know.
Oh fuck.
And it's like it's a pretty bad position, you know. And not only is he on my back, he's a double jiu-jitsu black belt champ on my back, you know.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, he was on my back. You know, we're not gonna finish this all because it's 3 minutes of him being on my back trying to finish the
no, we can go
trying to
fast
finish
forward.
the rear naked choke.
Yo, shit, he's here.
Yeah, it's just nonstop. He's just switching arms, trying to finish it.
Yeah.
He wasn't able to finish it. I just kept defending every time. I mean, I remember a few times it was close.
Yeah.
And I remember my coach Martijn just shouting, few more seconds. I'm like, oh no, fuck, I'm not giving up, you know. And I somehow managed to exactly. Just wait until the bell went.
Jeez, man. Was that just the first round?
That was the first round. Yeah,
that was the first round.
Second round, he. Oh man, I can't remember. Let's see what happened. Yeah, of course. Went for the takedown again.
Straight away.
This is not where Engelen wants to be. His legs are close together, which makes it easier for him to pick him up.
Right. I thought about going for a guillottine, but no, it wasn't that tight. I think he's gonna land an elbow after this. That I remember. That's gonna happen in a little bit. Let's just wait for a second. Yeah, he's throwing a few punches, getting side control. I'm like, oh shit, don't want to be here. This is a bad position.
She's gonna try to slide that knee across the belly and get into mount here. He's going the other way. Could be going in north-south position where their heads are actually opposite.
Not a lot of action.
So one of the cameras died. We're back. We're back on the fight where it's a lot of grappling going on.
Yeah, a lot of grappling. Strong guy. Thinking a little bit he might throw an elbow.
5 years the difference between these two.
Let's have a look.
The older man.
This is exactly where Pucci was hoping this fight would maintain. He clearly has the advantage here, but Engelen's doing the right stuff. He's got onto his side. He's not staying flat against his back.
He's not giving up. That's what he's doing.
Maybe some scrambles to get back up to his feet.
Fuck. Yeah, he doesn't look skinny at all.
Right? Exactly.
Easier said than done when you're just watching it on TV, though.
I think Engelen
You-
is cut.
Yeah.
around
So,
Open your eye.
So that's where he was throwing a few elbows, and I'm like, oh shit, I could feel it like leaking on my face. I'm like, oh man, I don't want to be scarred in my face for life. You know, I'm like, get the fuck out. You know, and like went away, and he jumped on my back, and that one, he really sunk it in, and
Fuck. Yeah. And tap.
yeah, that's a good choke. That's a good choke.
Yeah. How has he been doing since? Has he been doing good?
He's I would say very similar like me, man. Like ups and downs. You know, we both won a few, lost a few against a variety of opponents. And that being said, not too long ago, I actually challenged him to a rematch.
All right.
Because he's one of the guys I would love to do a rematch against. You know, obviously because it was my first fight and I lost my fight.
Yeah. And since then, how many fights, pro fights, you had?
So let me see. If this was when I was 5-0, so this is my 6th. In total, I've had about like 15, 16, 17 fights. So I guess like 10 fights later, I guess.
Yeah.
Around 10 fights later, you know,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah. I mean, he agreed. I mean, he's a super nice guy, you know. We're friends on Instagram and everything, you know. And
Pucci, that's Italian or that's
Brazilian.
That's Brazilian.
Brazilian, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And you know, he accepted the challenge. We did a little bit of you know, social media hype, and unfortunately, it never. What do you call it?
Happened.
It never actually happened.
Yeah. Materialized.
Yeah,
you want the fancy word.
That was it. You know, but you know, if the guys who won championship are listening to this, you know, I'm still down to fight. I mean, whoever. But if I could choose, you know, I'd like to go against Bruno Pucci again.
Cool. But I like it also. Like I said, like show me one of your fights, and you were okay to show the fight where you actually lost.
Oh yeah,
But-
yeah, totally.
But would you say that this fight was in certain way kind of change your game, or like you gave you a little kick in the ass, like okay, I need to maybe focus on this or change something up?
Right.
What did you do?
So funny story. Prior to this fight, I actually didn't train proper.
Can you just lower your mic a little bit so we can see your pretty face there in that camera? Exactly.
Prior to this fight, I actually didn't do like proper kickboxing training.
Right.
It was purely still like grappling,
Right.
and like MMA, but no proper kickboxing training. You know, so the kickboxing training I did prior to this was basically at my apartment, where I would invite some friends over, put the mats down, and we would do like the combinations, you know, because I mean, I have some knowledge in that, you know. But yeah, man, back in Jakarta, the gyms were just not all that when it came to striking, you know.
Really?
For me to go to a gym and just do like a few rounds on the bag, or like two rounds with a trainer, that's bullshit, you know. At least for me, you know, as a fighter, it was not what I was looking for. I needed to do like proper drills, proper techniques, proper sparring, and that was very hard to find back in Jakarta. So, again, I went into this fight without that proper background, and you know, still made it to one championship, you know. And but after that fight, it did change my whole training regime. Spending more time in Bali, upping my training back in Jakarta with my own team. Yeah, definitely up the ante after this.
Yeah, what did the slice say about, it's not about how you lose, it's about what you do after, whatever.
Exactly.
How does it go?
Yeah. I mean that's one of the things, man. I mean, if you win, all right, you win, but if you lose, you learn.
Yeah. From every failure you can learn, and it's just annoying that we use that word, or we have that connotation toward failure, that it's something it's very bad. But failure, you know, you're always going to learn something.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
it's like in business, in relationship, in anything.
Yeah.
You know, so instead of taking that as a end of the world, like that's it. No, it's just it gives you more, thickers your skin, and in this case especially.
Yeah.
So what is the other fight we could look at?
First is oh man, what is his name again? Oh my god. Cambodian guy.
Cambodia. Okay, so then let's just see Anthony versus what other fights come up.
Keep scrolling.
You're gonna recognize
That's
it.
it.
This the one, eh?
Masmao. Yeah, that's it.
Masmao. Yeah, that I would
Right.
forget that name as well.
So this fight was, after the fight that we just saw, I had a few more fights, a few wins, few losses. I went out from one championship as well, had a few fights outside of one championship, and then got back into one championship again, and that was this fight. When is this? November 18. So yeah, my comeback, if you may, back in one championship. So yeah, let's just have a quick peek on how this one went. I did this on almost let's say 2 weeks notice.
Dude, even your I don't know much about martial arts. I mean, I've done it, but like watching, I can see your footwork is so different.
Yeah.
Back in there, you were like this bull, just kind of going forward. Here, like switching sides, blah blah blah. Like you can see that there's difference.
Yeah. Yeah,
he went ballistic.
Definitely evolved a little bit compared to that last fight.
He got sexier shorts as well. Look at that.
Well, this is a funny story, actually.
I can't wait that. Well, I actually forgot my shorts, and this is my underwear.
No, well, it's almost similar, man. I shit you not, man. Like I was, my supposed manager back then. He was supposed to bring my fight shorts with the team logo on it, right? And he fucking forgot the shorts. He only had one job to do for that.
What's the manager's name?
Adri.
Shout out for you, buddy.
What's up, man?
Where's my fucking shorts?
And he forgot it, So I'm like, what the fuck, So, I mean, normally I wear another shorts under my shorts.
Right.
That keeps my my cup in place.
Your cup, yeah.
So I'm like, well, okay, fuck it. I'm just gonna wear this then.
Yeah.
So anyway, so
look, that's the story. Look at how I clock shit like that. At least the good I started with the footwork. I was like, oh yeah, look at the footwork. Look at the shorts, girl. Where are you making a statement in the house? Next thing in the jockstrap. Okay, cool.
Outside of the one cage, so he has still been active. He's still been putting in work, but this is a big test for him. One championship is the premier martial arts organization inside the world.
Was he similar age with you? Oh shit! And that game is over.
I have no idea how old he was. I'm pretty sure I was a bit older.
Let's see.
Like you mentioned previously, I started quite late. So I'd say most of my opponents were quite a bit younger, I think.
Mm-hmm. That kick was beautiful. 39 seconds into the first round. Boom. And how does it feel? I mean, like, I don't have much experience with, these kind of fights. Like, I've done karate on points and, it's a very different ball game. So, but I remember I got knocked out once. Like, I got really kicked in the jaw.
Okay.
So I remember this guy was, again, taller. And I was like brown belt or not even brown belt, and he was black belt. And it was almost like he needed to show me, what's what. Mm-hmm. And he kicked me in the fucking jaw so bad. I literally couldn't eat for like 2 weeks or something.
Damn.
Yeah. So how does it feel? I mean, I'm pretty sure like you knocked someone out. But like, don't you feel sometimes like you want to kind of go longer and go like show like the skill set and like kind of thing, or just like it's totally fine with you? That was sick kick, you just walk away, no hurt, you don't have any bruises or whatever. How does that feel?
That's you kind of nailed that one there as well, actually, because having my comeback to one championship, I was pretty stoked for that, and then finishing the fight in 39 seconds, of course, it feels good. On the other side, I was like, I still got that itch, right?
Exactly.
And even though I was on the top of the world, but there's still that itch, because I didn't really do a lot. I threw one kick, that's it. So, went back to Jakarta, went back home. I was eating my cheeseburger, celebrating, and as I was taking a bite from my cheeseburger, one championship guys call me, "Hey, Anthony, do you want to fight this weekend?
Because he knew that you're physically all good and you haven't been...
So I'm like, say what? Yeah, because we got a last-minute cancellation on the card in Jakarta. By chance, the next card was going to be in Jakarta. And they're like, it's your weight class. Would you be willing to step up? I'm like, let's go, guys.
Let me finish this weight.
let me finish this first, and then So I took the fight. Not having fought in one championship for quite a bit, and then coming back with like a nice knockout, and then again, literally a week later.
Yeah,
that was a lot of fun, man.
How did that go? Did you had a time to prove yourself?
A little bit more.
Was it a punch and a kick?
it was definitely a few punches and a few kicks, and then I think I finished that one in with a submission.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, definitely a little bit more active,
Right.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah,
that's sick.
Yeah.
That's almost like universe heard you, kind of like.
In a way, yeah.
This guy still has an itch.
Right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is you being fighting. So you started that professional one was when you were 30 years old, right? But before that, you did also. How old you were when you got into actually having like big competitions? Because I'm a little bit confused now. So when you said like professionally, that's the kind of the only source of income,
right?
That's what you think is professionally, or that's the general how people assume professional. Because I always thought professional is that when you make money,
right?
Not when it's your only source of income. You can have many different kind of sources of income. You know what I mean?
Okay. Fair enough.
It's like right now, like when I do stand-up comedy, I can say I'm a pro stand-up comedian because I get paid, but that money definitely doesn't sustain me. That's just one of the incomes I can, use.
Well, okay, let's nuance it a little bit more then.
Yeah.
So that was when I turned like full on pro.
Oh, okay. Here you go.
Prior to that, I was doing like, a few professional fights, where I did get paid for.
Right.
But back then I was still, what was I doing back then? I was working for a tea company back then. I was, I think I did a stint as an English teacher as well for a bit. Doing some odd jobs back then.
I think pro, it's like an easy way to say like when you don't have a day job anymore, because your day job turns into being a fighter. That's when you're a pro.
Yeah.
Like instead of being a milkman during the day and then in the evening you go and punch a bag and then you compete once in a while.
Yeah. So
that's probably the biggest difference.
Probably.
And so then that's when you were 30. So how old are you now?
36.
36. You're a year younger than me. Jesus Christ, I feel so old. Oh God. And then so it's been 6 years since, and you said that altogether you've done about 17, 18 fights.
Give or take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now the story goes, you're a professional fighter, but you coach. What are the other things you're involved? Oh, the one thing what I was very excited and was very happy for you. So you do commenting. So you go to Jakarta.
Yeah.
How long you been doing that?
I only started doing that about, I guess this is my second month right now.
Okay.
So I started just before the new year. Like,
and is that every weekend?
Almost every weekend, kind of depending on the schedule of UFC.
Oh, okay. Were you there because of that when I was doing my 10 days quarantine?
Yes, exactly.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, so that just happened, and it's a cool gig.
It's crazy. It's awesome.
Yeah. It's for the broadcast, the UFC broadcast in Indonesia, Malaysia, and Singapore. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's in English, which is good. I mean, I guess I could have done it in Indonesian as well, but definitely easier for me to do it in English. It's on Mola TV, so be sure to tune in Mola TV.
Mola TV, check it out.
Download the app or go to the website, just make a free account and just watch UFC for free anywhere in Indonesia. And
then when you comment, who are your co-hosts?
So, so previously there was we had a different female main host. Mm-hmm. Her name was Venny.
Hey Venny.
Hey Venny, what's up?
What's up?
And so I'm like the guest expert, mm-hmm. and the resident expert was Dedi Wigraha, which is my one of my former BJ coaches back in Jakarta. And since last week, the producers wanted to give a try to a different host. So they asked my wife, Amelia, to give it a try. And, she did quite well. And they asked her back again for next week, for this weekend.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's team.
That's like a freaking family business.
Yeah.
Now. Let's go comment together. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and your wife, she's I know her since last year. When did you guys get married?
Where?
When?
2019 July.
Okay, so that's I met you guys after you all been married.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and yeah, she's lovely. She definitely knows how to talk. So
yeah, I mean, she's a what do you call it? An entertainer.
Well spoken.
She's a professional singer. She's a professional jazz singer.
Okay, so she has a stage presence, and she's not afraid of people. That's awesome.
Doing like a actual hosting for TV was the first time though. Mm-hmm. But it's I guess it's a small switch to make.
Yeah. Well, if you know how, if you're not falling in your mouth, whatever that expression is, then you just go with the flow, and we talk.
Is that something they say in English or
no? It's Latvian. It's Latvian thing.
Right. Okay. Because we have exactly the same in Dutch.
Really?
Yeah. But I've never heard it in English.
Yeah. No, I literally just translated it because in my brain it makes total sense.
Yeah.
Just like it's so funny, like when you compare languages, and you probably you most likely can relate to this. Like even sayings like killing two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
We have shooting two rabbits with one shot. As like if you shoot from a gun.
All right. Yeah.
So like when someone's like, "Oh, you just killed two birds." What are you talking about? Throw the stone. And like when you're not falling in your mouth, that's the very Latvian. I think English version is if your mouth is not full with water or something like that. Someone was sitting there like they would have a mouth full with water. I'm just
never heard. Yeah,
like they don't. And they can't say anything. But I'm pretty sure I didn't say it right. How the expression goes. So the languages, and so you speak Dutch, you speak Bahasa, English.
Yeah.
What else?
I mean, a few words of French and German.
Right.
Yeah.
Because Netherlands is just good that way, because you guys are exposed to all of that. Yeah. And I know a couple of Belgians, yeah, and they would say, and it's so funny, yeah. I already covered this in the beginning, like Belgians and Hollandese, Netherlandese, like it's the worst.
Dutch people,
yeah. It's like it's crazy. You can't. If I say you're Hollandese, no, it's not right. It's Dutch. You're Dutch, right? But you're from Netherlands, or you're from Holland.
Yeah.
Fucking confusing, man. I'm from Latvia. I speak Latvian. Boom, easy.
Right. Yeah, that is a lot easier.
I'm from Russia. I speak Russian. There you go.
I don't know why they had to make it that complicated for Holland, man. I don't know, because in Dutch, if we say we're from Holland, and you are a Hollander.
Okay.
In Dutch, but you cannot say it in English.
Yeah, Hollandese.
Or a Hollander.
Are you a Hollander?
It's not correct. No, you're Dutch.
And you say, and you're an idiot. If I'm a Hollander, you're a dumbass. There you go. Yeah. And then, what else you've been up to? What else you've been doing here in Bali now for a while? So you're coaching, you're commenting, you're competing. What else do you do?
So I've actually recently launched my online coaching program.
Okay.
I kind of figured out that doing coaching face to face, it kind of limits your the reach. So I've been wanting to do something online for quite a while now, and I met a few guys that are kind of guided me in the process how to set everything up. Mm-hmm. And with almost around 15 years of experience in MMA, I think I definitely have a few things.
Start picking up a couple of things. Right?
Yeah, start picking up a few things, right? A thing or two about a thing or two, right?
Well, like how to punch, right? Maybe how to duck.
And but not only. The program is not only about teaching people how to fight, because you can do that anywhere from anyone, but it's it's the whole mindset that comes from training MMA or from being an MMA fighter, You know, because the mindset of how I say this, you know, the mindset of a fighter and the mindset of a soldier are amongst the most, you know, intense, the most daring, the most, you know, dangerous work environments you can have anywhere, right? So for you to be able to withstand all that pressure as an MMA fighter or as a professional soldier, you know, it's next to none. You know, regular people don't get exposed to that kind of mental stress, physical stress. You know, especially those who are just sitting behind their laptop on a day.
I think I would be scared shitless to be a miner. Like mining, and especially in old days.
I mean, that's
when it could just get fucking buried. Like I will go fight any day, honestly.
that's a different
you know
thing
I mean?
altogether, right? 100%. You know.
Yeah.
So
they are dangerous shit outside there. Yeah, they could be more dangerous professions, but these are definitely one of the most.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, where it comes to, like, you know, the skills and the trainings and the you know, the mindset you got to be in to keep on going. You know, and you know, I've had so many days where I went to the gym, did my training, got beat the fuck up, sitting around at the side. I'm like, you know, feeling sorry for myself, going back home, having a shower, and then, you know, what do? You shake it off, and 3-4 hours later, you got to go back again, do it all again. And if you cannot handle that, if you cannot deal with that, you know, you're in the wrong profession.
Yeah.
And all these things kind of, you know, come natural for me throughout the years of training. So now I've started to, you know, put a lot of this on paper, put a lot of this in videos, trying to educate and to share my knowledge to anyone. And again, I'm not training people to become fighters, but I'm training them to get into that particular mindset so that they can use that in their own line of work, whatever that is, you know, whether it's, you know, sitting behind the computers, selling stocks, whatever. If you don't have that mindset, that, you know, really pushes you to your limits, you're not gonna take anything out of life.
100%. And like, you know, I'm a huge fan of Joe Rogan's, and he was talking to one of the women fighters. Forgot her name now. I think she's Russian. And she's up and coming and getting very big. And they were talking how, I think it was in LA. Don't take my word for this, but I think it's in LA. They have a special, like, a mindset kind of there's a whole, like, what they call it, almost like not university, but like academy for like UFC fighters or MMA fighters. And then they had this whole like a mindset teaching and how, this is huge. It's like, you're strong, whatever, but if your mind is not strong, that's the biggest thing there is.
100%.
And then talking about, like, you definitely you know, I think all of us should write autobiographies. You know, you definitely should write one as well, like biography. No, and talking also about things, what worked for you, what didn't work for you. Because, you know, I love that we have this exposure wave of, like, of our thoughts and what opinions. It's podcasts. You know, it's just so great that we're just having this conversation and people can learn certain things, and you as a fighter as well. And one of the podcasts that I did with my BJJ coach in the United Kingdom, and he mentioned, I already forgot, it flew out of my head, this guy who is big in UFC, and he wrote his book, and like how he was sharing about the ideas, like what helps for him, and like how he gets in his mindset as well. And I think this is a perfect segue for us to get in that book. What do you suggest me was the Superman, what was it? The Rise of Superman?
Rise of Superman.
And it was all about the flow. They were talking the flow, continuously repeating the flow. And, well, this segment, we still have 5 minutes. So let's just talk about that book quickly. So I listened twice on the audio version, and they were just talking about how some people push through everything. This one guy in particular, he had a broken ankle, a broken leg, whatever, and he still would go back on a surfboard and continue having, finishing his way, whatever, and it was a 3G pressure. So 1G is when F1 Formula drivers go around the corners, that's 1G. 2G was something about the planes and stuff, and then this guy, broken foot, still goes and finishes his shit, you know. And this was probably not about the flow, but this was about him just kind of just knowing that this is the time when he wants to do it. But there was so much talking about, like, we need to get in that flow.
Yeah.
The things like we are overworked, we are injured, those don't matter anymore because we're in that flow. So share what kind of things you took away from that book for some listeners who would like to check it out.
Yeah, so it's interesting because again, prior to me like putting my knowledge on paper or making videos, most of it is just in my mind, and it's just normal for me. I didn't give it a lot of thought. And then when I'm reading books about it, my eyes kind of opened, and I'm like, oh, it's actually like this, and people actually, they write about what I'm actually experiencing, And when it comes to flow, it's the state of flow. It's a very interesting subject. It's something that happens when it might happen when you're super focused on particular in a particular situation where everything around you kind of slows down, and it's just you and the object or situation. The tunnel vision, right? Yeah. And that happened to me a few times during my fights. Definitely not every fight, but definitely a few times. When I remember my coach saying like, watch out for the punch, watch out for the kick. And I see the guy punching, or I see him kicking, and I'm stepping back, and I'm just looking at
slow motion
at the kick miss my head, and I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, is he really that slow, or am I moving just way faster than him? Like, I wasn't really sure, right? But I was like seeing it in like almost slow motion, And sure enough, I got a knockout in that one as well. So yeah, it's something that happens for elite athletes. They get into the flow state sometimes, and the book is about decoding the science of the ultimate human performance, right? And the ultimate human performance that only kind of happens in like I said, elite athletes, and I would say elite soldiers as well, because there's a lot of the physical part that is very comparable between athletes and soldiers. Man.
For those who are listening this right now, Anthony's like stroking his beard as he was telling it. He's like this, like a super wise man just sitting on the rock.
It's a little bit shorter right now, to be honest, but it's still big. Long.
What happened? Did the wind almost blew you off your scooter? You see, I'm trying to get you. I got my stash, but this morning I looked at the mirror. I look fucking weird with the stash. I look like Mario or Luigi, one of those. I think I need to shave. Yeah, I don't have your genes. I can't grow a beard. Sorry.
Too bad, bro. Too bad. But you still got the baby face.
Hey, there you go. That works for me. So this book, what else did I take from it? About how they just they were puzzled. How come in a very short period of time, certain sports just developed and grew so quickly? So that was the other thing as well. And I think it's just to compare, it's about the people, the specific characters who would just push no matter what, and they have this obsession on getting better in this, and those are the pinnacles, the ones who pushed it up to a certain level. But you get, and it's interesting. It's like it happens in different sports differently, and it's about certain specific characters who are gonna go and do some crazy shit, and they just lose it.
Pushing the limits, pushing your own limits. That's the only way to improve yourself. You get what you put in, and if you push yourself hard and long enough, you might get into that state of flow. And
I like how one guy compared it. He said, I can get in that state of flow if I meditate and maybe for 2 hours, and maybe that's going to happen for 2-3 minutes. I'm going to get in that state, or do something what almost kills me. I get it in straight away.
Right.
That's how he was comparing with it. And I was like, Jesus.
Yeah.
And I know, like, I've worked as a stunt performer, and certain things I do, a lot of people think it's crazy, but for me, it makes total sense because most of them I'm actually building up. Like, let's say someone sees me doing high diving from 15 meters, doing backflip, whatever, and they're like, oh my God, that's crazy. It's not crazy if you've done 5 meters. It's not crazy when you do 7 meters, 10 meters. Right. And you build it up, and a lot of people don't see that. The baby work, steps. The baby steps as well. Like, no one is going to go MMA and like, oh, Renars, you're physically pretty fit. Go and fight this MMA fighter. Fuck no. These are the things what I just can't stand when sometimes people say, oh, I would never be able to do this. Well, because you've never done anything about it to actually get there.
Yep.
You know?
Definitely, bro. That's very true.
Yeah.
That is very true. I mean, that's, just about that subject. You got the people on that side who feel sorry for themselves, saying like, oh, I would never be able to do that. And then you got the people on the other side of the spectrum who say, they're only fighting for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. I actually got out of bed to watch that fight. And they're earning all that money just to fight for 5 or 7 minutes.
My God, those are just idiots.
Both are idiots. On the same subject, but they got different sides about it, right? Because they both don't see all the years of preparation that goes into that, right? You got to start somewhere, and man, preparation that goes into before a fight. I mean,
it's just sad. Also, there's another group which looks at me quite often and say, "Oh my God, you're so talented. You're just so talented."
Right.
The only talent and the biggest talent what everyone has, who whatever they do great, is consistent fucking grinding. That's the only fucking talent. And I've seen in the past some guys who would come, they're less coordinated than I or other guys, and and like you see 5 years later they're smashing it. How? Why? Because of talent? No, because they've been working their asses off.
Yep, true.
True. And that happens a lot.
Hard work beats talent, bro.
Boom. So Tyson said that. Just recently I saw a video someone posted. Tyson said, like, it doesn't matter how fucking talented you are. If you don't have that consistent work, there's nothing. Cool. Okay, and we're going to do one more segment and have a little pause now. Whoa. There you go, we're back.
All right.
Yeah, so this is back with Anthony here, and we talked about all sorts of stuff about fighting business. About what was again the name of the organization you're part of?
One Championship.
One Championship. So it's here in Asia. What countries it covers?
So it's headquartered in Singapore. But at least pre-COVID, they were doing events in every Asian country. Right.
In every Asian country.
Yeah.
So it's huge. Yeah, so number-wise, it's way bigger than UFC, isn't it?
Number-wise, I'm not really sure, but it's pretty big.
Okay.
It is really big.
We can look it up later. Whoever wants to check it out, compare it. So we talked about the book. You suggested you're not a really big reader, but you recently started reading a little bit more.
Yeah, I've just started, a little widening my horizon.
Oh, widening your horizons. There you go. So, there you go.
It's something that I've definitely not done for a long time, again, just too busy with training, fighting, getting punched in the face and everything.
Hey, you should do that with audiobook in your ear.
Right. Multitasking, right? Yeah, why not?
And you're like, stop, this is a very good one. I need to put a note.
Put a note,
this is a very good thought. Yeah. Oh, I will quote this. Punched in the face.
But it's definitely something that I just recently picked up a little bit more again.
Yeah, suggestion for you from I struggled with reading big time. So now I try to read as much as possible, and every time I have new guests, so they tell me about the books that they like, and then I try to read them. And I definitely learn stuff all the time. So audiobook is definitely one of them. The other one is find like these moments when you can just be by yourself and do your thing. And for me, that's sauna. So I go to sauna pretty much every day. So in 20 minutes, 100% I can read, right? An audiobook makes you a little bit lazy because it's like, you just stick it in there and it's sometimes it's difficult. Some narrators they're not as good, so they can be quite monotonous and you're kind of falling asleep or not really getting the concept. But there are some books that are really easy to get it from audio, so try that. That's one of the things. And while you do like your cardio warm-ups and stuff like that, that can make that will work.
Yeah.
The other thing what I was asking you was about films and about people. Right. So the films, I literally already forgot all the other ones. I think you gave me 3 or 4 options, but then the fourth or the third option was Zootopia.
Right.
And I was like, that's my film. It's a cartoon. For those who don't know, Zootopia is about speaking animals. and the main reason I loved it is because they're actually covering a really cool concept of that we all are different kind of animals.
Yeah.
And you know, when even in schools, in a like old school concept, when we study the same subjects and kids would have different grasp of different subjects. So you would be good in physics, I would be good in math, and someone else is going to be good in language. But all of us, for some reason, have to get grades in all of those subjects. Right. So it's like teaching someone who can fly to teach them also to swim kind of thing. And that was compared with the animals in the forest.
Yeah.
So like the wolf is gonna fly, you know, and that's what the expectation in a school, which doesn't make any sense. Right. So that's why Zootopia for me really kind of strike a right chord.
Yeah, definitely.
And it was funny as fuck as well.
It was a super funny movie, you know, and one of the reasons why I picked that one as my top 3, you know, just to mention the other 2 was Black Hawk Down, and The Legend of 1900. And then Zootopia, you know, so 3.
So Black Hawk Down is about shooting people and shit, running with the guns.
Exactly.
I don't know what the second one is about, but the third one is a cartoon.
It's about music, and this guy who lives on a boat basically becomes a very famous jazz, like a piano player.
Oh, okay.
It's a really interesting movie. Like, it's a beautiful movie actually with Tim Roth. Anyways, 3 very different movies, and that kind of portrays the way I am as well, because I don't like to be put in one box. I have a lot of different boxes, if you may, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, when I can just appreciate a whole variety of whatever it is. You know? So Zootopia, I just love the movie, you know, and it's one of the first movies that I watched together with my wife back when we were still dating, and. You know, it was just, you know, the things that you just mentioned that was very cool about the movie. And for some reason, after that movie, I started to identify
certain people with certain animals.
Exactly.
Yeah.
in particular, I started to identify my wife Amelia with the main character Judy Hopps.
Right. I thought you were gonna say with the sloth.
Amelia, you know where to find him.
Yeah.
Okay?
She's your wife. Yeah, 100%. Like knowing her as much as I know her, she's quite quick talker and all excited all the time. Yeah.
Right. And then myself as the fox.
You're gonna be the fox,
right? And also because back then when we were still dating, you know, as it is in the movie where it's just outrageous for a fox to be dating a bunny. Right. So her parents were like, oh, "You're dating a fox," you know, and that kind of stuff, right? And that was quite typical for our situation as well, because we had a few issues as well back then when we were dating with her parents. Because because my wife's Chinese Indonesian and I'm not Chinese, and that was like a big.
You're not Chinese. That's a big surprise.
Right? My God, you know?
I thought you're just Indonesian.
You know, I actually tried to kind of fake it even.
Oh my God!
Like say, no, because I am half Indonesian. My dad's from.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, bro. My dad's from Indonesia. He's from Manado.
Oh, that explains why you actually was. Well, you should start with that. You never said that.
Well, you didn't ask, you know. So, you know.
It's like, what about your parents? And so I have mom and dad.
Hey, mom. Hi, dad.
That's all you said. I was like, oh yeah. So actually, my dad he's half Indonesian.
So my mom's English. My dad's Indonesian. They both moved to Holland. That's why I'm Dutch. Gotcha. You know, so there's not a lot of Dutch blood going on. Just my passport. So yeah. That being said, you know, I actually in Manado, where my family is from, there are actually a lot of Chinese. What do you call it?
Immigrants,
if you may. You know, there's a lot of Chinese blood going on there.
Okay.
So I actually we tried to sell it like you know, there's actually a Chinese in the family as well. And I remember the dad saying like, okay, if that's really true, I want to see the what do you call it, the stamboom, what's that in English, the family tree, you know.
Oh my God.
Show me the evidence, you know.
Wow.
Anyways, you know, long story short, it all turned out good. But yeah, ever since, you know, that's one of the reasons why me and her, we really like that movie. And,
That is interesting. Yeah, it's a very perfect analogy for someone like who would say like, why would you ever be with a fox or with a bunny? I thought you're going to be that character the fox was hanging out with, who pretended a small child, but it was being like, hey, I want to, like, very deep voice. When they did that ice cream trick. And then they go, I know that film too well, when they got to the ice cream place when they sell ice cream only for elephants. So it was like this very like a racist thing going on. So you don't sell anyone else, only to elephants?
Right. And he had his elephant costume on, right? And he was so sad.
Elephant costume,
right.
And the fox was just like, oh, well, sorry, not this time. Sorry, you're not going to get an ice cream. And then when he got it, then I understand what it's all about. So they basically just need that big size when they can chop it up and then sell it.
And, you know, make money, right?
Yeah. There you go.
Sly foxes.
That's a good one. And so, yeah, the other two films, I was just going to put in, people can check it out. So for me, I need to figure out how to download certain films because like right now I only have Netflix, basically. So I need to figure out some...
There is a magical world. It's called the internet.
Oh my God.
Right? And there is a part of the internet called torrents. Exactly.
Smart ass. And then you can look it up what that means.
Right. Pirate Bay, bro. You know, that's the way to go.
Oh yeah, this is actually a podcast. We promoting piracy. Hello.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, don't need to pay for shit. You just download. Yeah, okay. Next time, as soon as I got next guest giving me some film I can't find, I'm going to go to you. Cool. And then I asked about people. So people who inspired, helped you, or been mentoring you. And you mentioned three coaches, actually 4, 5.
Right.
4. I know 4 of them, and the 5th one is from Belgium. So the ones I know... sorry?
Holland.
Sorry. What did I say?
You said Belgium, bro.
Oh, shit. Fuck, the Belgians thing in my head. Also, because there's so many Belgians here in
there are quite
many.
Actually, a lot of French and Belgians.
A lot of them.
For some reason.
Yeah. And they don't have the best rep. They apparently are assholes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh. I don't know. I'm like, so far, I'm pretty fond of them. Yeah. Maybe I'm just fond of assholes.
That sounds a little bit weird.
I don't know. I found some. Yeah. You know, that sound quite. Anywho.
Next subject.
So, coaches. So we have Leone brothers. One of them I had on the podcast.
So just to you know, why you know when you ask like who do I look up to or who am I who made a big who have a big influence in my life. Aside from obviously my own dad, of course, but for me living outside of Holland for the last, give or take 14 years right now, the people that had a daily influence on my life have always been my coaches, because those are the guys that I see on a day-to-day basis. And the first coach to make a big who had a big influence in my life was my first coach, Martijn de Jong. He was my coach for a bit back in Holland, and then when I was already in Indonesia, he moved to Indonesia as well after one time, and we started a gym together in Jakarta for a few years. And he was the coach that kind of guided me in my early phase as a professional fighter with everything.
Right.
And up until this day, he's still like the best coach out there, and he just knew me to the point. And I still miss his voice talking to me from outside the cage. And it's that voice that it's the only thing you hear. You're doing your thing, and that's the only thing you're hearing, and that's not an easy task to get that chemistry with you and your coach.
100%.
But he just had a very specific way of doing everything, about training, about mindset. about just evolving as a fighter, and I'm very grateful to that until this day for having him in my life. And even though he's not my coach anymore, we're still on a very good base together. We're still in touch very regularly, and so that's definitely one person that I really appreciate in my life. The second and third are going to be my other coaches, my other striking coaches here in Bali, Coach Ethan and Coach Mike. So a shout out to them both from New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
They came to the gym to Bali MMA a few years ago, or they started a few years ago, and they led the striking program. And they had a very similar style to my first coach, Martijn. Very similar training style. Their background is Dutch kickboxing, so it was very familiar to me. Maybe a little bit rougher around the edges compared to Martijn. I think you have a few nice stories about
Just
that.
finish good things to say good things about them. I'm gonna finish with dessert. Who Ethan is actually.
So yeah, I mean they were definitely a no nonsense kind of coach. You show up late, he's either gonna kick you or at the best he's gonna give you 100 burpees or whatever. The strict coaches, and my God, there is a few trainings where people were almost crying, I think, during the exercise, and tough trainings. But the most important part, it was valuable, and again, till this day, I'm still using techniques that I learned from them on a daily basis in my training, in my sparring, or my competitions from them. And I think that's very important, and I very much appreciate them, even though Coach Ethan, he went back to New Zealand to be with his family. Mike started his own gym around the corner, and I wish him all the best with that as well. They all went and followed their own path, and but I'm happy to say that we're again still in a good relationship, and I value that.
Yeah, can I share with my experience now with both of them?
Yeah, let's hear, bro. Let's hear.
No, Ethan. I mean, both of them are super lovely, but they're strict, and you know what? That is super important, especially for martial arts. Mm-hmm. Like when I used to do karate, it was kind of there was a very simple understanding, like if you're late, you're going to do this. If you're this and this. One time I forgot to take my earring out, and I have this Russian coach for karate. He would come over and he's like, I told you how many times to take your fucking earring out. He came and just ripped it out.
No.
Yeah, just ripped it out. And it didn't rip too much. It was quite a soft one, so it bleeded a little bit. But yeah, since then I never wear earrings since. But yeah, so I do respect that. The only problem, or not a problem, but I remember when I would come late for Mike's classes, because he used to do the group class from Muay Thai.
Right.
And every time I would be late, because I thought, it's okay to be late. He would just comes over to me, looks dead in the eyes like, are you taking me as a prostitute? Do you think I'm a prostitute? That you can just come up anytime you want and just leave anytime you want? I was like, no, Mike, no. But he was mainly just giggling about it. And with Ethan, I had, he would hold pads for me. And I remember he would be like, yeah, put your hands up or whatever. And I wasn't protecting myself. And he would just go for sourplex with a pad. But that was enough for me just to bend over. And he just kneed me. And I literally ran away from I was like, this is it. I can't work in this kind of conditions. And he was laughing. But yeah, so I ran away from both of them, I guess. Uh-huh. I thought Ethan was back. I thought he was with Mike doing stuff. I think I saw some videos, him coaching there. No, he's gone.
No, he's definitely still in New Zealand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I hope he comes back. Again, he was an awesome coach, and I learned a lot from him. And but yeah,
cool.
And and of course the Leone brothers and Donnie, the owners of Bali MMA.
Yeah.
Who I've been with since a long time. I know Andrew and Anthony since the first time they came to Jakarta because they started the gym in Jakarta, actually, Jakarta MMA, and did that for a bit. And I was training with them back then. And maybe like a few years down the line, they opened up Bali MMA, and I was one of the early members there as well. And again, these are guys that I see on a day-to-day basis, and they're freaking awesome coaches with a huge dose of experience. Really high-level coaches, high-level fighters as well, and these are also guys that I really value and appreciate very much.
Yeah, and both of them are just really cool dudes.
They are.
Like, just I started my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu 4 steps with it was with Andrew actually, and then it was with Anthony. And
Right.
Anthony was on a podcast, so anyone wants to check it out. I think it's episode 10, something like that. And and both of them know how to have fun and just laugh, but also they work their asses off.
Definitely.
So yeah, that is a great combo you have there.
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome.
For sure.
Listen, we are very close to finishing our chat. Before I always kind of close the podcast, I always try to kind of get a little bit serious. Are you ready for some serious shit?
Wow.
Basically, for people who, whether they want to do stuff what you do, and I think we covered already some of those things. What are your kind of suggestions and things what work for you in the sense of, again, about the mindset? And you can actually cover some of the stuff what you're going to have in your app or program, and what are the things to focus on, and how to get in that mindset to achieve certain things in your life. What things worked for you, and what do you think you could suggest to other people?
Well, one of the things, and you mentioned it as well a little bit back, is consistency, right? Whatever it is that you want, you got to work for it. You got to be consistent in your actions, and man, it's just about not giving up. Just today, actually, Donnie mentioned after sparring, he wants everyone to, whoever comes to sparring, you got to keep going for the full 12 rounds. And afterwards, we got we did like 400 sit-ups, because there's a lot of people today. And you just got to sit it out, like the whole thing. You don't show up late, you don't go away early, and you don't quit early. Quitting is a habit.
Yeah.
Right? It's something that if you do it once, you're going to do it twice. You're going to do it 3 times. It becomes a habit.
Right.
Instead, push yourself. Just push yourself mentally, because your body can do it. Doing it physically is the easy part. It's about pushing yourself mentally to push yourself through those tough moments. And instead of quitting, you just do it, and it's that easy. There's no big science behind it. You just got to do it. You just got to wake up and do it. And I mean, obviously, I go a little bit deeper into that in my videos or in my online program, but man, basically it just boils down to that. It's about having that strong mindset about just doing it, and you're gonna fail along the way. I've mentioned it in my program, about losing. Everyone's invincible, everyone's unbeaten until they lose. The biggest champions are unbeaten until they lose. Everyone's going to lose at one point. And what happens then? How are you going to handle that? That's what defines you as a person. That's what defines you as an athlete. And how you handle that, how you go on after that happens, is going to be just a really big moment in your life. And some people take it well, and they become even better. Some people are going to be like, oh, how did this happen? I'm useless. I can't do it anymore. And they just fade away. Those guys are the losers. And again, I also mentioned this before. When you win, you win. And when you lose, you learn. Right?
That's a good one.
So take that with you for the next, whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's your next fight or your next presentation or your next hockey match, whatever it is, take it with some positivity and just get back at it, and again, man, I can name like 10 like sleazy slogans here, you know, like, you know, the hard work beats talent. We mentioned that before, you know, all this kind of stuff. You know, it's all kind of, man, it's simple slogans, you know, but it's the truth.
Right.
You know?
What do you think about the concept of that you need to kind of figure out what is that passion? What is that thing, what you would think you... It's like, I love the concept of that you find that passion and then you find the way to use your biggest talents, whatever those are, to figure out during your lifetime, if it takes your lifetime. For some people it takes very easy to figure out, these are my talents, these are the best, and I enjoy doing it. Because there are people who are talented in certain things that they don't really like to do. And then also like with that, I think with the grind, it's easier to push through, if you want to look at it that way, when you know that that's what you're meant to do and this is what you feel like doing. Like for me, as example, like podcast. Started podcast with Chris from Comedy Club, and quite early, like 10th episode, and he's like, I don't want to do it anymore. And instead I could just turn around like, oh, okay, well, no, that's it. Like, I don't know how to do it by myself. I was like, I'm going to figure out, because I really want to do it. And just went through it, and, you know, almost 20 episodes later, here we are. Or the same thing with stand-up comedy. You're going to bomb eventually, you know, and then like, do you just quit? Or, you know, get your shit together and go back. Exactly. And it boils, for me, as I love you use the word, boils down to also what matters for you. You know, what is important when you look in the mirror? What is important for you? You know, when you say like fighting, that's what I want to do, and this is important for me, that's my passion. There's not even a question about just stopping and not doing it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
Boom, man. Thank you so much for being here.
All right.
I'm going to finish, wait. I need to finish with that track, what we started with.
Okay. Or that one.
We can do it with this one as well. There you go. We're done with another podcast here with the Renars podcast, and Anthony was my guest. Thank you so much, man, again, and good luck with your future endeavors.
Appreciate it, bro. Thanks for having me here.
Pleasure to... Every time I see you in the gym, I just kind of scare a little bit, because he's probably going to hold pads and fuck me up. But that's what life is all about, man. Bush, one more time. Cheers, buddy. Now you have to show the moves. Do you have some moves? Nice.